सबको नमस्कार. मैं हूं डॉक्टर महेश, Joint Commissioner and Director of Center of Excellence for Animal Husbandry. You've been watching our episodes of SIA podcast in the various areas of animal husbandry, be it dairy, be poultry, be sheep and goat and piggery. You've seen a lot of people coming here into our studio talking their role of leadership and how they discovered their significant achievements. One common thing in all our episodes was the chair besides me was a man. So this time SIA Academy discovered my good friend Vincent's daughter, whose name is Shirley Kutina, the lady who achieved a great achievements, a transformational change, how she could bring in a legacy wherein many women across the country can follow. So without ado, I want to welcome Shirley Kutina, who is the Executive Director of Ideal Chicken brand. You all know, more familiar with that brand of popularity in Bangalore. Welcome, Shirley.
Thank you, Doctor, for this welcome. First of all, I would like to thank you, CEH, for this opportunity, and totally overwhelmed and happy to be here.
Very good. It was so nice of you. I've troubled you traveling from Bangalore with your entire family here. I'm really thankful. So let us keep the conversation very straight, because all of these days we were watching a man in this chair being talked. Now I want to show to the audience that even a girl can rise up to become a lady entrepreneur. So that is a background I want to interview with you. So can you tell about yourself, your education, what inspired your journey?
Okay, I come from a vibrant coastal city called Mangalore, and it's very rich in culture. So I did my schooling and my PU in Mangalore, post which I did my engineering in biotechnology from Mangalore itself. And immediately thereafter, I joined business, which was at that time 9 years old. So soon after that, after a few years of my experience in business, I also obtained my post-graduation in business management from XLRI Jamshedpur. And today, I can say now I've completed like 11 years of my experience in business, and overall our company has completed 20 years.
Fantastic. Yes. 2 decades. Okay. Good.
Yes.
Very nice of you. So can you tell what inspired you to take this businessship road? Because you graduated from biotechnology, later you entered into your business and started in different roles.
Yes.
So what inspired you for this?
Okay. Firstly, I was not really sure that what I wanted to do post my education. I did biotechnology because biology has always been my subject of interest. But when I finished my engineering, I can be frank that, joining business was one of the major options that I had in hand. It's definite that after my dad has completed so many years of experience in poultry and 9 years of time in business, he would be expecting me to join. But he never really pushed me or, asked me if I wanted to join. But back of my mind, I had that this option is always available. So I wanted to explore that first. Though I didn't know much about it, I was still confused, you can say. It was not like, I was always thinking of joining it, but I wanted to try it and then take a decision. I knew that there are other options as well. I joined, I worked for 1 year, and when I completed 1 year, I realized that, I've learned nothing because this industry is huge. And when I joined and I started meeting people in poultry industry, I thought I knew many things about it, but I was wrong because it's so vast and it has so many things to learn from it, and that in 1 year time, I felt like I know nothing. And I was actually starting to like the managerial aspects of the business, the administrative responsibilities, though I was not taking much of administrative responsibilities, but day-to-day changes in business, the way how you have to tackle different situations. So that kind of interests me, and I felt like I could do more and I could explore more in this industry. That's why I continued.
What was your most difficult part to begin with? Because generally the audience watching, see, you had your father started a business, but when you get a role, your father will not help there. You had to discover yourself, and you have to find such difficult moments. What are those moments?
My dad is a person who will not teach like everything A to Z. Like, he'll not teach you pinpoint everything. So he initially would encourage me to, just observe him and learn. And he would give me basic task that, a normal office person does. He would give me basic task and then I would learn from it. I would ask questions. I would understand different areas. So difficulties in the initial days was, expectations. So when your father has already established a business and then it is already employing some number of people, they all look up to you. In the sense, they have this brand new person come in and they want you to, they just observe you, every action that you do and that decision that you take. They just, they just want to, I can say they just want to pick out something. And that is one thing I was very conscious about. And initially, it was like no matter I'm a fresher to the business and I know nothing about it, I have to behave like I'm the boss.
Oh, that is another challenge.
Yeah, that is a bigger challenge, I can say, because everybody would call me madam, and this, that, and all that stuff. And I was like literally fresh out of college, fresh into everything. And there's no like, nobody's training you as such. They expect you to know everything. And what I would do is I would still mingle with everyone. I would start working on the base levels. I would just mingle and try to understand what are their works. I would try to understand if they're doing it in a easier methods or my understanding of doing it in a better way. So I would explore those areas, and that's how I had to learn. So learning from your subordinates is, I think, a big task, because one thing is they do not find that openness to teach you as such, and then you have to explore a way where you have to learn from them. At the same time, you have to maintain your
Bosses are
Position.
strict. Yeah, yeah.
So that is one big challenge. Second thing is they always look up to you. And one more thing is they still refer to you as boss's daughter.
Boss's daughter. Okay.
They don't refer to you as the new leader in the organization. So you're constantly shadowed. So it becomes a little challenging to, prove yourself, to come out of that shadow, to prove that, you have your own identity. And then you are also trying to do things your way. And everything that you do is not, told to you, or, it is being done through you. That is, I think these are the few things that challenges that next generation entrepreneur feels, irrespective of it is second, third, fourth, or whatever it is.
Sally, my next question is, what excites you in poultry? Father did poultry sector, okay, but why did you, as an enterprise, what is the most thing which attracts you there?
One thing is, I thought poultry is not like, very advanced sector or things in that. Even if I was born into a family which was doing poultry business from the like early days, I didn't know much. I just knew only the retail side of it and things like that. But once I got into it, I got to know that there's so much technology involved, so much enhancement is happening year on year, so much scope for improvement. And with every generation, not just generation, with every year, there is new thing coming in, and we have to adapt and change. And there are so many sectors, like if you start from breeding farm until the retail sector also, there's a vast scope for you to learn, for you to train others, for you to develop things in a different way. So our business includes, like, starts from breeding farm, where we grow the parent birds, we get the hatching eggs, and which we transfer to the hatchery. In the hatchery, we hatch them into chicks, which is again, completely consumed by our own integration farms. So we have network of around 850 farmers with whom we do contract farming. And they rear the birds for us and they give it back to us, and we either network them. One thing is we do meat processing in our processing plants, and we sell them as a processed meat in the brand name Ideal Chicken. Also, we have a segment wherein we do line sales. So line sales is like, biggest advantage that we have in Mangalore, I can feel, because we have n number of vehicles wherein we lift the birds from our farms and we supply to the other retailers, including our retails. Okay. So there is, that network that has been created wherein our live bird supply is also there to a major extent. And also our processed meat supply is there as Ideal Chicken. So then we have our retail stores. Retail stores we have around now 32 retail stores, of which 9 retail stores are franchisees. Yeah, so and we have e-commerce wherein we supply chicken via our Ideal Chicken app in Mangalore region.
You're focused only on Mangalore region, or you're into Bangalore also now?
Now recently we have also stepped into Bangalore, and we have 2 stores in Mysore. We also have 3 stores in Kerala. So we are now stepping out of Mangalore, and we see that our brand it is gaining momentum, and it is doing good recognition in terms of its quality, its standard, its taste, and we want to explore beyond Mangalore now.
Very good, Shirley. The other thing I want to understand is now you are an executive director. So you said in the beginning it was so challenging to discover yourself, come out of the shadow, the father's legacy, and other thing. Now you can explain your role as an executive director. How is your day? So what responsibilities you deal? Now the ecosystem around you, because you have graduated from a management school of XLR Jamshedpur. What you derived from those nuances to apply in your business?
I am currently handling HR, sales and marketing, and IT, and also I take care of the general administration in the office. So my entire day goes into looking into different aspects of the operations regarding these departments, and it is good in a very challenging manner. It's actually very diverse, I can say. So in sales and marketing, we have like trader based sales, and then we have line sales that I just told, and we have meat sales which goes to Horeca and institutions, and finally retail. So we have different people in these areas who do different kind of operations. So my role majorly involves in administering all these operations, looking into the day-to-day needs of these areas, taking major decisions in these terms. So about my post graduation, I actually finished like few years of my experience in the company, and then I did my post graduation in business management. So it was more like I had practical knowledge, and then I was learning the theory of it. So it included all the aspects that I was doing in terms of HR, in terms of sales, in terms of IT, in terms of legals, in terms of administration, marketing. So I was learning the theory part of it later on, and it was really good for me. If I had learned the theory first and then did the practical, I wouldn't have connected so well to it. But I did the other way, and I could really connect the pieces, like where I felt I needed help here, but I learned it later on when I was doing my theory, when I was going through all the case studies. It really helped me. I think that was a good approach for me as well, and I could implement those things back again into my practical experiences.
Good message. These days, all management school prefer people with experience to come and do the management.
Yes, correct.
To move on, because these days your generation is basically more into data management. How do I derive so many things into one business unit, and how I extract more profitability in unit center, those kind of things. So can you explain more on your turnover, how many people you involved, and what is your profitability, what strategies you are adapting for marketing, living away your father's legacy, your generation, how do you take up that?
We give a lot of importance to data because we are trying to minimize as much as manual error works that is included, because it requires a lot of entries and data, because you have operations in multiple locations. You can't really rely on manual works, then check it out and all that. So we have come up with the certain apps that could help us with collection of data, and that data would be then processed in our head office.
Okay.
And then we monitor this information from time to time, and we check this on per unit basis. So when this happens, we are very much aware of what's happening in that unit. It could be a small retail store, or it could be a whole breeding unit as such. So we have segregated all the divisions and units into their roles,
Okay.
and then we are managing individual units based on their performance. So this way now, if we have 22 own retail stores, we are checking each retail against the rest. So we come to know that this particular retail is not doing as good as the rest, then we go and check what is happening over there. So this way we are trying to pick and set standards within our own divisions. So we have a good performing division, good performing unit within a division. Then we compare it with the rest of the units of the same division, and then we try to make others better. That is one way we are doing it. And one more thing is when it comes to data, it's not sufficient that we collect data. We now, in the current era, it's required that you learn
Analyze.
that data, you analyze that data, you do something with it. Simply collecting and filling your database is not sufficient. You have to learn from it, you have to work on it, and the more and more you look into it, the more ways you will find to come to different outcomes. So I feel getting manual to automation is one task. Now automation to analysis is another task altogether.
That's very
And
important.
this is ever evolving. The way you look at the data is changing from time to time, and we are also learning to improve every day and day. I wouldn't say that we are doing the best or something like that, but we are also learning to upgrade and look at it in different angles and come to better outcomes and analysis.
Fantastic. What is your turnover presently in? Are you
Yeah.
profitable, or what's your?
We are we have reached 400 plus turnover in the current.
So congratulations, causing 400 crores. Very good. Huh?
So we employ about 1,000 employees and around 850 farmers. So direct employees would be 1,000, and indirectly we have so many farmers, and they are all distributed around different units, and we focus on more friendly atmosphere in our organization, wherein we try to create more like a flat structure where everybody is accessible to everyone. So this way we understand what is happening at the ground level, the base level, and even the management is directly approachable to all these areas. And additionally, I would like to say that from the past 4 years, I've also bought in company newsletter.
Okay.
So on quarterly basis, we are coming out with one newsletter wherein we put all updates about the company operations, and this goes to every employee. Because I majorly felt like ever since we crossed like 500 employees, there was a gap
Connectivity.
between the main office and the unit.
Unit.
So people wouldn't know what is happening. Even if a new store came up or a new line would set up, they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And some basic things couldn't be communicated as well. So we have come up with this newsletter which has all this information, and then it goes to all the employees. This way we are able to connect, and also these newsletters are read by their families. So the family is also aware of what's happening in the company and where their family member is working, and they also feel connected to us. It feels good.
Very good initiatives. So now let me come to your family. What is the support you are getting from your husband, and how do you manage your children and still executing the great work?
So as a woman, going to work is, it requires effort. not as much as it used to back then. Nowadays, everybody goes to work. Almost all women go to work. But majorly, women have this responsibility of, taking care of work. And then, they are also very much involved in the house and the children. It's not always possible to, balance it 50-50. But then it is easy to, work it out somehow here and there if you have great support at home. So I'm very privileged and happy that I gain that support from my husband, my children, and my in-laws, because of which I am able to give my 100% at work.
Very good.
So I go to work and I don't think about my family. I come back and then I switch completely. Then I have to let go of that work because I'm not able to, entirely take work to home, because I also have this to be taken care of. So that support system, if it is there, and I think any woman can, do wonderful at work.
Great message for all the people who are watching. Because, switch on, switch off. When you are there, you switch on. When you come home, switch off. So now I want to ask little issues about your father, and who's my very good friend. So what you agree with your father and what you disagree with your father?
I almost disagree with my father every day.
Then I'll have to tell you now. Good, okay.
Actually, me and my father have a lot of disagreements, but it's always in the best interest of the company. And he knows it, and I know it. And we both listen to each other. We understand each other's perspective. We also try to make each other understand our own perspectives.
Okay.
But we also come to collective conclusion at the end of the day.
Let us agree to disagree. Okay.
So I think it's really important. It's not just me and my father, my mother, my brother, we are all involved into business.
Is it? Okay. They also.
We are also involved in business.
Very good.
So when we are at work, there's no family concept over there.
Good.
So we constantly we work like, yes, I wouldn't say it's like a debate, but we are always open to discuss, what we feel is not right,
Okay.
what we feel is right. And we try to challenge each other as well.
That's good. That's constructive.
Yeah. So if there is a situation in hand, so he will look at it in a certain way. I will look at it in a certain way. My brother looks at it in a certain way. So we get collective information and solutions to it. So it's better.
It's better. So what is the influence of your mother into you? So does she influence you for this journey of entrepreneurship? Or father influenced you
Both my mom and dad have been
in entrepreneurs?
yes, my mother was the one who was the proprietor for the hatchery firm. Initially, we started like Anupama Feeds and Farms was the firm which has on partnership basis. And then we had Ideal Hatchery, then we had Ideal Breeding Farm. So in all the three firms, some or the other way, somebody of the family member was the partner or a proprietor, or the either way, it's combinations. So we are family of 5, and my sister is also there, but she is not actively involved. So what happens is from the early age, I have seen my mother support dad in all his work decisions. She was working elsewhere, but when she became a partner in Anupama Feeds and Farms in 2005, gradually she also came out of that and completely involved in business. And even till today, she is coming to office every day. And she's taking care of cash-related works and also the licensing part of it or compliances. She's looking into those aspects of it.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah. So my father is majorly looking into the projects, the production,
Development.
and overall administration. So my father is looking in those areas.
Brother, what is
Rather, he's into production now. He's looking into breeding farm, hatchery, integration. So he's looking into the production part of it. And I'm looking into the other divisions. So we all, I think, find inspiration in each other. And it's good actually to understand how they are working in their areas, and we learn from each other.
Silly, now let me enter into the little core of your subject, poultry. In this, what according to you is the future? Is it only breeding or is it only retailing or you want to go for further processing? Because back in, as I understand in India today, I say that, 2.5 lakh crore sector doing fantastic, producing 25 crore eggs per day, 1.5 crore broilers per day, ever expanding. And small companies are coming like the organizations like yours from 100 crores to 500 crore to 1000. They are becoming very common. So what according to you is the future in this sector?
This is an ever-growing industry. It's ever evolving. So what I feel is you have to convert your product, this final outcome from a commodity to a product. And that's when you will get all the benefits that you have sowed in over the production line. So we have vast majority of laborers that are involved in breeding farm, integration and processing. But the front face is always the retail and the horeca or the institution segment. That is where your product is actually getting identified and appreciated and
Recall and recognition.
yes, recognized. So no matter how well you do until the integration, if you do not give a name to it, then your existence is not known.
So you mean branding helps?
Branding really is required. You have to move your segment a step forward because people are expecting better service. That is what is now people just don't want chicken. They want better service. They want better product. They want better quality. They want experience. They count on experience and they want convenience. All these matters are these are the things that people are expecting because people have gotten busy. They have their own life to deal with. They don't want the
Waste the time on that disease.
all these things. So you have to build your product in such a manner that the end consumer is able to blindly believe on what traceability you have to offer and what is the product you're giving them on their plate. They shouldn't have a second question. So if you're doing more of live chicken and commodity based production, then you have to switch. You have to go into retailing because that is where you can
Give more value at the
give us more value. Also, you as a business also can get value in that sector.
Very good. Now another compliment I want to give to Bangalore is ever evolving in many businesses, especially in poultry. Also, I find 4 or 5 players doing fantastic business, fantastic evolution in your area. Anything which you want to say that you differentiate among the group in Bangalore? Suppose how is your group is different than X, Y, Z, or how do you want to interpret complementing each other or putting a different USP? Is any effort in that direction?
So what we are doing is we are majorly taking care of the end meat quality. So all the production that we do in our integration, whether it goes as live or it goes as retail product, processed meat, the feed is same.
Okay.
So we put a lot of efforts into ensuring that the feeding of the bird is done in the right manner and our quality is to the optimum level. So even in our line sales, when other retailers buy chicken from us, they like our chicken because they can see that benefit in their end product. So we do not differentiate in our production, whether it is live or this thing, processed meat, and we are putting a lot of efforts into this area. And I can proudly say that this is how we are very different. And one more thing we are different is we have captured the market in terms of live sales and we have reach towards many retailers, because of which it also gives us a strength as a company and it is really helping us.
What are the volumes you handle per day? Suppose in a Sunday, because that is a peak retail. How is your volumes of live sales versus retail versus processing? Any data?
So basically what is happening is we are doing up to 50% of live sales we are doing, in the sense line sales we are doing. and little small quantity of trader based sales we have directly from our farms, and up to 30 to 35% is going as a processed meat via retail and institution. So our major goal is to slowly convert these wholesale line sales into processed meat segment. So even in our retail stores, we have both combinations. Some retails are purely chilled meat. Some retails have combination of chilled and live. So there also we are encouraging people in order to move from live to chilled. So it is really helping us in a way to capture the consumer base, which are majorly live based or wet market based, but they are getting used to chilled gradually, and that's how we are converting, and it is
This is news for me because hybrid model is a news. I have never heard people holding live plus chilled. So what made you to think in that direction?
no, initially what happened was back in those days when we started Ideal Chicken, chill shops were hardly any chill shops were there, but we started with live shops. We also, when we ventured into meat processing, we had to introduce that product. So we started introducing chilled meat as well in our retail stores. Now we
Small kiosk kind of a thing in the same shop.
we have live bird provision as well, which
Partition. Okay.
yeah, we have live bird provision wherein the chicken is made available for the customer as per their needs, and also chilled meat comes as with skin or without skin. Options are there, and then we have portions, different portions of the processed meat, and then additionally we have tray packs wherein people can also take tray packs and go. So people like it in the sense there are particular segment of customers who want this particular type of product. There are varied products they want.
Any assessment of daily consumption of chicken in Mangalore? What are the volumes on a peak day of Sunday? Total requirement of Mangalore? How many lakh birds?
We are currently placing 3.5 lakh chicks per week. So that much consumption is usually done through our network. Only a percent of it, 20% of it goes to trader market. The rest all is consumed by us only.
Okay.
Yeah.
So monthly around 14 lakh birds
Yes.
you're handling it.
Yes.
So now I'm almost coming to the conclusion part. So what message you want to give to the young entrepreneurs watching? And you have said that a transformation story of a biotechnologist to a business, and then discover yourself, then into management, then you learned it, and you adapted a lot of data and other issues for your efficiency. So what is the message for the audience who are watching, especially women? And what is your future goals?
I would say that there's huge scope in this industry. I am enjoying it as an entrepreneur because my everyday is very varied. So every day is a new day and new task and new challenges. So it actually drives me every day. I think the beauty of entrepreneurship is, it challenges you every day and it pushes you to new limits, and it tries to explore
More out of you.
So you kind of understand your talents as you grow along with the business, and it's very empowering. The whole feeling of it is satisfying.
I like that. Empowering the people. Yeah.
Yes. So whoever is looking towards entrepreneurship, I would say definitely you should go for it. And if you're not confident at the time to venture into entrepreneurship, then you can, for a limited time, try out different things that, gains knowledge, so that you gain knowledge and you can utilize to, more confidently venture into entrepreneurship. Women, I would say you have everything in you to explore new possibilities. Opportunities are there. We just have to go and grab them. And if you have the right support system and if you have everything in place at your home, then I think there's no stopping here. No matter how difficult things are. But I think anyways, women are doing very good in all other things. This is not a hindrance, I can say.
Okay.
But if they put their heart to it and mind to it, they can do better also.
Wonderful, relief. Finally, what are the future plans of yours? What do you want to aspire your group to achieve next 10 years or next 20 years? Where you want to see?
We majorly want to explore the meat processing sector of the industry. We want to reach new areas with the brand Ideal Chicken, and we want to convert the vet market or the live bird
Live market.
segment into processed meat segment, because we feel that is the future. And we want to diversify. We want to include more products apart from just processed meat. We want to go further into marinated or into ready to cook products and different variants of the chicken. We want to try out different baskets of.
Are you interested in other sectors like dairy?
No, as of now,
As of-
I don't have any knowledge of other areas. But within poultry and industries associated with poultry, I think there is a lot to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So finally, do you have any forum for women entrepreneurs in poultry? Did you create something, any platform? Do you know how many women entrepreneurs across the country like you, the next gen or sudden surprise elements of emerging? Have you created some forum?
No, actually not. But
You should create, I think.
yes, now that you speak to me about it, I'm just thinking about it. But ever since I joined business, wherever I went, I would see very little women in the forum or any kind of exhibition, or the very few. You could like handpick them, and that is little difficult concept, but also it can be a beneficial for women who are actually entering into the business. I feel you're more observant in that case. People recognize you more because there is scope. So I feel, more women can try managerial roles. If you are not yet experienced, or not yet explored this area, then you should definitely. In our total industry, there are many women.
Yeah.
There are in processing, meat processing, there are women. Actually, majorly women are into that segment. Also in breeder farming, there are women. But when it comes to managerial role, I would say
Very few.
close to zero.
Close to zero.
Yeah. But now in admin office level, I see there are many women coming in. They're taking different roles in the administrative roles. And that is actually good. So even in other industries or poultry industry in general, I feel that we should encourage more women to take managerial roles, because they are doing good. In work-wise, if I see, they are actually doing good.
So very nice of you. Thank you so much. I would encourage to start your own forum of women in poultry.
Yes.
Because Vets in Poultry, we have an association.
Yes.
Similarly, that I would suggest today, the Women in Poultry Association. I wish you all the best. Convey my wishes to your entire family of your support.
Thank
So thank you so much having come all the way from Mangalore and addressing at our SIA Academy.
Yes.
So SIA Academy, thanks Shirley Kutina and his entire family for taking such a lead role. And wish you all the best for the audience who are watching the great episodes. Keep coming. We will discover many women entrepreneurs too also in the coming days. Thank you very much and see you in the next episode.